Apollo's love. Apollo was the Olympian god of prophecy, music, poetry, healing and archery. Apollo was unlucky in a number of his love affairs. The stories of Apollo's lovers. The divine loves goddesses. Hecate or Hecate, the goddess of magic, witchcraft, the night, moon, ghosts and necromancy. Hestia, the virgin goddess of the hearth and the home. Calliope or Calliope, one of the 9 muses, the muse of eloquence and epic poetry. She is also the muse of music, song, and dance. Mousi or muses. Apollo was said to have loved all 9 mousi, the goddesses of music, song and dance, and the source of inspiration to poets. Urania or Urania, one of the 9 mousi or muses. Talia or Talia. She is also one of the 9 mousi or muses. Hecate was the goddess of magic, witchcraft, the night, moon, ghosts and necromancy. She was the only child of the Titanes Perses and Asteria, from whom she received her power over heaven, earth, and sea. Hecate assisted Demeter in her search for Persephone, guiding her through the night with flaming torches. After the mother-daughter reunion, she became Persephone's minister and companion in Hades. Both Hecate and Apollo are the gods watch over the cycle of birth and death. Apollo, by bringing summer and winter. Hecate, by guiding the souls to rebirth. Consequently, both are the guardians of tombs. Hestia was the virgin goddess of the hearth, both private and municipal, and goddess of the home. As the goddess of the family hearth, she also presided over the cooking of bread and the preparation of the family meal. In myth, Hestia was the firstborn child of Kronos and Rhea, who was swallowed by her father at birth. Zeus later forced the old Titan to disgorge Hestia and her siblings. As the first to be swallowed, she was also the last to be disgorged, and so was named as both the eldest and youngest of the 6 Chronides. When the gods Apollon sought for her hand in marriage, she refused and asked Zeus to let her remain an eternal virgin. Zeus agreed and he took her place at his royal hearth. Calliope is the muse of epic poetry and heroic song in Greek mythology. She is considered the leader of the muses and the most honored of them all. She is often represented in art with a tablet on her knee and a stylus in her hand. She is often linked romantically to Apollo. The muses were the patron goddesses of literature and the arts and inspired all artistic activity in the ancient world. They held a distinguished position in Greek mythology and were honored by both mortals and immortals alike. Apollo, the Greek god of music and dance and a patron of the arts, was a leader of the muses. Urania or Urania was one of the 9 muses, the goddesses of music, song and dance. In the classical era, when the mousi were assigned specific artistic and literary spheres, Urania was named muse of astronomy and astronomical writings. In this guise, she was depicted pointing at a celestial globe with a rod. Apollo's union with Urania, the heavenly muse of astronomy and inspiration, embodies the brilliance of celestial love. Their bond transcends mortal comprehension, giving rise to the poetry of the stars and the harmonious dance of the cosmos. As Apollo gazes upon Urania, the heavens themselves seem to reflect the divine beauty of their connection. Talia or Talia was also one of the 9 muses, the goddesses of music, song and dance. In the classical era, when the mousi were assigned specific artistic and literary spheres, Talia was named muse of comedy and bucolic poetry. In this guise she was portrayed with the attributes of comic mask, shepherd's staff and wreath of ivy. Her name was derived from the Greek word thalia, meaning rich festivity or blooming. The semi-divine loves. Nymphs. Athausa, or Aithusa, a nymph of Boeotia, central Greece, who was loved by Apollon. She bore him a son named Eleuther. Acacalus, or Acacalus, a nymph of Crete, the Greek Aegean, who was loved by Apollon. She bore him twin sons, Philanderos and Philoctetes. Daphne's Aeneid nymph of Arcadia in southern Greece, or Thessalia of northern Greece, who was loved by Apollon. She fled from his advances and was transformed into a laurel tree. Chrysothemis, a nymph and queen of Bubastos in Caria, the Asia Minor, the wife of King Staphylos. She had 3 daughters, one of which is Parthenos, was sometimes said to be a child of Apollon's. Chorikia, a Naiad nymph of Phocis in central Greece, who bore Apollon a son named Lycoros. Kyrene, a nymph or princess of the Lapith country of Thessalia of northern Greece. She was seduced by Apollon whilst hunting and bore him 2 offspring, Aristios and Imen. Lucano, a nymph of Phocis in central Greece, who according to some, was the mother by Apollon of the bard Philaumon. Melena, a Naiad nymph of Phocis, who according to some, bore Apollon a son named Delphus. Melia, an Oceanid nymph who was abducted from the home of her father to Thebes by the god Apollon. Her brother Caanthos was sent to retrieve her, and after burning down the temple of Apollon was slain by the god. Melia was the mother of 2 sons, Taneros and Ismenos. Okuri, a Naiad nymph of the island of Samos, who was pursued by Apollon and refuge on a boat leaving the island. The wrathful god turned the boat to stone and the skipper into a pilot fish. Othrace, a nymph of Mount Othrys in Malis northern Greece, who bore Apollon a son named Phagros. Uria, a sea nymph of Troy, daughter of Poseidon, who was loved by Apollon during the building of the walls of Troy. She bore the god a son named Ilias. Brisha, a nymph who according to some was the mother of the Corybants by Apollon. Sinope, a Naiad nymph of Sicyonia who was abducted by Apollon to the Black Sea coast of Assyria, where the city of Sinope was named for her. According to most sources, she tricked Apollon into swearing an oath promising her virginity. Stilbe, a Naiad nymph of the Lapith country of Thessalia who bore Apollon 2 sons, Lopithes and Kentauros. Silas, a nymph of Sicyonia, who bore Apollon a son named Zooippos.